Hello and welcome back to the channel. So to get things started, I just want to say I really like how I titled this video in particular, Are Atheists Close-Minded? Because if you see it and you read it, I can imagine, a few certain kind of reactions depending on who you are. You could be a theist, someone that believes in God, perhaps hoping to click on this video if you don't really know anything about me and the things that I say on the channel. You might be looking forward to a video that, confirms your bias towards secular people and non-religious thinking, expecting that you're going to have another theist, giving you the self-confirmation bias, like, oh yeah, those atheists are so close-minded, da 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 da. So if that's you, my apologies for disappointing you. That's not the video you're gonna get. But stick around because I really hope that if you are this kind of person in particular, a lot of these things can help you improve, your own knowledge and whatnot and your own understanding of your worldview and stuff. I mean, maybe it's also possible that you're a secular person like myself, clicking on this video thinking that it might come from, oh yeah, another one of those ignorant Christians or whatever here to just, place a smear campaign on atheists. And yeah, I get it. A lot of those people are also like, pretty fucking annoying. I just want to say that before I say the things in this video, I am aware that whether you're atheist or theist, anyone can stick their fingers in their ears and refuse not to acknowledge the other side, you know refuse to, like, see an understanding outside of, their own understanding and whatnot. I mean, we've all done it at one point, whatever. It's just people in their need for like security or whatever. But yes, again, this video is coming from the secular side because I am a secular person. So again, this is not an attack on, like, let's say, all Christians or all insert whatever like religious affiliation that like you belong to and whatnot. But I did want to raise some points for people that, are religious and do immediately take anything with like extreme negativity when it comes to someone that doesn't believe in God, people that are secular, people that are atheists, even agnostic, whatever, all that kind of stuff. Because if you're going to be more firm in your worldview, then I think, these things ought to be considered. So, yes, I do acknowledge that obviously atheists and secular people as well can refuse to listen to a view that doesn't, immediately place upon the self confirmation bias of, like, their own points of view. But here's the thing, at least when I think of a close-minded, religious person, a close-minded theist, it is nowhere near on the level of perhaps, let's say, like an atheist or like a secular person. Sure, you can argue perhaps that you know, a not open-minded atheist can just be somebody that's arguing just for the sake of arguing, not actually, let's say, truly and genuinely trying to assess the other side for like what it is. Yeah, I'm granting you that. But the thing that I do, find kind of absurd about like certain religious people, again, not all, but like, certain religious people, is that everything that challenges their worldview is just going to be like placed into like some sort of like spiritual or, oh, it's the work of Satan sort of thing to, like, close off having to, like, evaluate things that, challenge their worldviews and whatnot. Because anything that you don't understand, anything that you're unfamiliar with, or anything that, is a bias, it must be the work of like Satan, right? Even if, let's say, a religious person doesn't even believe in Satan, but then, I don't know, they'll just weasel around it by saying that, like, oh, Satan doesn't want you to think that he's, you're on his side for something good. He's, happy that he's tricking you without ever having to like reveal himself or whatever. Like, I'm sure there's gonna be, you know, theists like with a similar like line of thought to like what I just said. But I just wanted to point out though that, like, as an atheist, it is kind of, ridiculous to me because I think when I do encounter like religious and like theistic arguments, I actually have to take them for what they are and actually assess them and, attempt to find like the illogical like reasoning if there is any within the aspects of my worldview, because I don't believe in a God. I don't believe in Satan. I don't believe in any sort of like beyond like physical matter sort of like entity, like what I just said, like Satan or God. So I don't have anything like that to appeal to. So I just have to, go off on the actual thing in which you're saying. Like, okay, see, this is also what's kind of like super ironic, because when an atheist is being more close-minded than somebody that's like a theist, it's deliberately more obvious, kind of like what I mentioned, just because we don't have anything to like fall back on, like, oh, you're deceiving me with Satan or whatever, or like anything like that. So it deliberately just looks like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna listen to you. I have my fingers in my ears. I'm not listening to you, bro, or like whatever. You can mask, like, sure, you're not deliberately saying, "Oh, I'm sticking my fingers in my ears and I refuse not to listen to you," but at least like you can pretend that you're engaging in a conversation when you're literally just being so close-minded, because like, oh yeah, you're just expressing your views, right? Your, I don't know, your blah 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 rights as a Christian or any kind of theist or like whatever, something like that. So when you say things like, I feel like, like that's the cop out, because like it can be easily masked that way, where it's like, oh, it like that's temptation by Satan. You're deceiving me. You're like whatever. So you don't even have to like assess the arguments like at all. I actually have to engage in the things that like you people would say, because like again, I'll keep stressing it. I don't have some sort of like being that I, rely on to like, guide me through my worldview. So everything has to come, from myself. So I just find that like, like, do I even have to say more? Like, do you see why I'm saying that could be like, quite ridiculous if you are this particular kind of like theistic person?